Canada, Mexico steelmakers refuse new U.S. orders. Yes, it's happening. I'm really, really hoping for the tariffs on Mexico and Canada to come through because I want... Basically, like, the worst case scenario for the world is that Trump's presidency goes more or less smoothly. I don't think it can go smoothly, but I think that he can do a lot of damage and paper over it. This is one of those things where the damage is, like, evident in a way that kind of, like, demands public uproar. At least more so than some other, you know, some other things. We need the crash out. They're already not taking new orders, which makes sense, I suppose. Now this is accelerationism. I still maintain it's not accelerationism because I think that even in the short term it would be better. Like, the worst thing that Donald Trump could do to America would be the long-term downstream effects of every single institution getting irreparably damaged or destroyed, and like the consequences of like pandemic breakout, H5N1, climate change, whatever else. The immediate harm he can do is relatively minimal compared to the long-term harm. So I'm hoping that if the stuff he does now is so disruptive and obviously incompetent that it takes away from the political capital that he could use down the line. Also, this is the kind of thing that fucks over not just everyday people. This also fucks over like oligarchs, a lot of whom are delusional and believe that this isn't going to affect them. So if stuff like this burns away at his political capital quickly, it prevents him from being able to do as much harm down the line. Which I think is distinct from accelerationism, because accelerationism is you accelerate collapse by accepting harm now, but I don't even necessarily think that's... Whatever, I don't care. I'm not arguing the particulars with you guys. Most self-described accelerationists out there are stupid LARPers, okay? Ignore chat, you're literally repeating the 1930 DNC strategy of letting Hoover the economy so they can win in a landslide in 1932. Your take is proven by history, you're fully vindicated. Honest to God, I actually don't know that much about it. I would have to read up more on that. I mean, obviously Hoover did the economy, but he was like incompetent beyond that. You know, it wasn't just like he would have been fine if only people had like lent their support to him or whatever. And then we got FDR, so, you know. But this time we're not getting FDR, are we? The best case scenario for 2028 is like Newsom or something. Canada's Stelco has been telling US-based customers it is pausing sales quotes, according to a person familiar. Mexico-based steel suppliers also stopped taking orders for material this week as they await potential action from Trump, according to Flack Global Metals, a large buyer. Trump this week signaled plans to impose previously threatened tariffs as much as 25% Mexico and Canada by February 1st. Even the threat of tariffs is being disruptive in a way that I think could potentially be beneficial, you know? This kind of like shaking the boat is exactly how Xi Jinping wins by doing nothing. Pritzker is a class traitor just like FDR. I believe in him. I won't lie. I would prefer Pritzker to so many other people that could potentially run. I'm just a little worried about his health. We need like a Pritzker Ozempic arc where he, I don't know, Sopranos maxes and we get like sunken cheeks and an evil look in his face. And then with dark woke energy, he rules from Washington for 4 more terms. I think his rotundness helps him be based, though. I agree that he projects massive fat guy aura, and I think that's good. I just want him to, like, make it through long enough to make that difference, you know? I really don't understand why you don't think AOC is the juice. I've been over it. She's just, and this is not an insult to her. I'm not insulting her. I like AOC very much. But she is, in the context of all this, a little girl. She's like my age. And she looks young for her age, too. And she's got a high-pitched voice. None of this is an insult. But, like, all of these weigh heavily against her when it comes to public perception. I'm sorry, but after Hillary and Kamala, the idea of a woman... How was that bad? Don't be f***ing stupid. I'm not talking about whether or not it's innately bad. I'm talking about biases in the electorate. AOC is more qualified to be president in terms of helping the country than, like, anyone else, basically. I mean, I'd love Bernie and everything, but in terms of, like, moral character or whatever, yeah, I'm not talking about her. It's not an insult to her. But she's like a, you know, in the context of politicians, she's like a young girl. Maybe give her a decade, she gets some wispy gray hairs, I don't know. It's just an aura thing. It's an aura thing. It's not hate. But Denmark and Mexico? Denmark and Mexico ain't the United States. And also, Claudia Steinbaum, very different energy than AOC. The way she talks and looks, massively different. It's not just about being a woman. And she needs to be a senator first. But I do agree that she's based. AOC would lose a Senate race right now? No, I think by 2026, she... I'd have to think. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it. It'd be funny if AOC ran against Chuck Schumer. Yeah, but she wouldn't win that race. Too much inertia. Canada is the top foreign import source of steel into the U.S. and Mexico, is the third largest according to U.S. Commerce Department data. The U.S. consumed about 91 million tons of steel in 2023, with imports accounting for about 27% of that total demand. Man. Cleveland Cliffs, the second largest U.S. steel producer, agreed to buy Canada-based Stelco last year. When asked last week at a briefing about the possibility Trump would slap tariffs on the company's newly owned Canadian steel, CEO Lourenco Goncalves said he will abide by Trump's policies. President Trump will do what President Trump wants to do. He has a plan, and I will play accordingly, Goncalves said. I'm a big boy. I bought Stelco knowing that Stelco's in Canada, and you know what? America first. I genuinely can't tell if this is him being wry or if this is him being a gigantic cuck. I actually don't know. I don't know which one it is. AOC for governor. AOC could never be governor, nor should she be. She has too much prominence in national office. It would be like a waste of her energies and time to focus on like a state-specific seat. Obviously, you run in the state, but it's about like where your, relative influence is. A governor is more powerful than a House member, but she has a lot of prominence in America broadly. It's not like she's only known within New York. She should be a senator. That would be the next step. Calling AOC a young girl is crazy to me. She was born in 89. Yeah, she's 5 years older than me. Again, it's not an insult. It's just like an energy thing. You have to accept this or your evaluation of electoral odds is worthless if you can't see that. It's about perception. Why is chat addicted to being stupid? Well, you'd think considering the fact these chat's all 12, they'd be like, oh, AOC's 35 or whatever. Yeah, she's like, actually, I guess that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, she's ancient. What do you mean she's young? She's 35. Insanely young. She's not going to be viable for the presidency at least a decade. And I still think the Senate's a better shot first. Vosh, you're basically calling the American people stupid and only responsive to vibes. Normally, I would say yes, GigaChat or whatever, but in this case, no. This is the case literally all over the world. Like, the idea that people's biases and perceptions come into play when electing public representatives, that's not just an America thing. Schumer has only one more term in him. I hope he doesn't even have that. Yeah, if we get an election in 2028, Common Llama. We'll see.